Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. I hope you're all doing well. It's Tuesday, 2 days after the draw, Juventus won, Bologna won, and you will probably think that in today's video we'll speak only about Mercato, which makes totally sense because we are on the 29th of August, the final days before the final gong of the summer edition 23-24. And especially you're probably asking yourself, is Giuntoli cooking something? If you're looking at the right side of the field, yeah, probably yes. You're probably asking yourself, what about Kostic, that after 180 minutes at disposal didn't even play a single second? We will speak about all these kind of things, but unfortunately for the Mercato lovers, you will have to wait until the end of the video. Why? Because we have to speak about something else. Calcio is back is the slogan of Italian Federation. That's how they are marketing their product. Well, Calcio is back not with the strength of the Italian team, not with the tactical maestro of the coaches. No, Calcio is back with the controversies, something that every single year we have to hear about, especially when there is one team in the eye, in the target. And yes, we are speaking about our beloved Juventus, because yes, we didn't have to wait really long before Juventus was again accused of being the one that are doing robbery. Yes, this is how they are describing us, only after match day 2. And doing like this will absolutely not survive it. Because you all watched the game Juve-Bologna, where there were really strange decisions from one side and the other side. So controversies is what we'll talk about in the beginning of the video, and then we go towards Mercato. Put a maximum of like if you didn't yet, continue to subscribe because we are ready to start. Why am I speaking 2 days after Juve-Bologna again about these controversies? Because there is a newness in Serie A for 23-24, something that was quite beautifully welcomed by the tifosi, by the expert of Mercato, by the expert of Calcio, the journalist and so on, by everyone. The fact that from this season on, we will be able, 2 days after the start of the week, so on Tuesday, listening to the VAR audio when there are big episodes that make sense to listen to the VAR audio. They will be publicly released so that everyone is able to hear the conversation between the referee and the VAR chief. Well, this is what we will hear this afternoon. And I'm happy. Honestly, I'm actually super happy because I want to understand why there was a penalty, why there was not a penalty. Did they take the real good decision? Is there something that makes in that conversation that I didn't see, that I didn't understand? So a bit of clarification. And that's what they will do today. But attenzione. And that's where I get really angry about, because they will release only, according to the sources, according to what we hear, only the episode Ealing Jr. Ndoye. That penalty that, according to me, watching the replays, was clearly a penalty and probably, surely also a red card for Ealing Jr. So a correct VAR review should have happened. It should have been the penalty for Bologna. Probably if they score, it's a 2-0 with Juventus with 10 men, you forget and you lose your first 3 points. In that game, after the non-penalty, we were able to equalize. It finished 1-1, and some people will tell Juventus was lucky. Other people, the mass, the media, and so on, but also some spokesperson from Bologna, they go in our home, in the Allianz Stadium, in front of microphones, accusing Juventus again of stealing the robbery. Juventus is stealing again Rubentus. This is how the media is changing it. Ragazzi, this afternoon we will not be able to hear the episodes of Chiesa Moro with that big contrast that was already a penalty, with the ball that was touched with the elbow of that player. We will not speak and hear about the VAR, about the Rabiot. Was he really clearly obstructing the visual of Skorupski? We will not speak about all the episodes, the handball that was given to Napoli last year for the same episode and not given to Juventus in that handball of the defender of Bologna. No, these episodes will not be public. We will not hear the VAR decisions. Then we go even further because Bello is about to be banned from Serie A, suspended for 2 months. Not because his disaster way of doing the referee in that game for both sides. No, only because of the Ealing Jr. Ndoye contrast. Rigore Juve-Bologna, sospesi arbitro e varista. L'AIA, errore evidente. Also AIA, that is the Associazione Italiana Arbitri, so the ones that are actually managing the referees, are pointing out only about the episode. So what are we thinking about? Why am I angry about? Because in that game a lot of decisions were wrong, and today they are sending a clear message to the tifosi, but especially to the referee that have objectively a difficult job already. They are sending the message: if you're messing up in favor of Juventus, well, you will be punished and you will also be publicly trashed if you mess in favor of Juventus. On the other side, if you mess against Juventus, all is okay, because the audios will not be released, because on the papers, in the media, on television, nobody will speak about. Ragazzi, this is really, really, really dangerous. This is extremely dangerous. The message that they are sending to the referees is extremely dangerous, because how can a referee that is living from that money when he's able to do the referee in Serie A, thinking and being tranquillo, relaxed in his head when he's whistling a game of Juventus? Because he knows that in doubt, it's better to do a mistake against Juventus than in favor of Juventus. How on earth is this objective? How on earth is this okay at match day 2 when we have the entirety of Serie A to play? Because in total we will have again 38 times referees that will be whistling the games of Juventus. Ragazzi, this is a disaster. Why are all the images disappearing? Why are we not speaking about the other contrast, that handball, about the foul against Chiesa, the W's, because I'm still in doubt about Rabiot being in front of the goalkeeper. I am really, 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 really worried. Tuttosport is even telling something else, and that's what I would ask Juventus as well. Juve, ma ti fai dire che rubi? Juventus, are you okay to let the other people telling that you are stealing? Because this is what happened. In front of the microphones, in our home, in our Allianz Stadium, a spokesperson of Bologna is going in front of camera and is saying that we are stealing. That clearly it was a huge, big foul against Ndoye, which is correct because it had to be a penalty. But they are saying in our home that we are stealing, omitting to speak about everything that was happening before. Juventus needs to speak. Juventus needs to stay in a calm way. You don't have to start blah blah blah. No, in a calm way. Okay, this was an episode that was against Juventus, and we agree should have been a penalty. But what about the other episode? And Juventus needs to do it. That's what Tuttosport is sending as a message, which I agree with. So ragazzi, again, I'm not happy. Yesterday, when I was live, I was already speaking about it. Why is it dangerous? First of all, because of the relaxed being of a referee in the games of Juventus. That's one. But also then, if you're putting all these kinds of narrative, because it's again a narrative, on papers, in the media, the supporters are influenced, because the anti-Juve world is feeding themselves about these pages. But also the other people. How much and how many times did we speak about Juventus minus points deduction, that the court was not in the court but was on the papers? The decision, the mass opinion of the people were manipulated with all the verdict that were already on the front pages, with broken logos, with all these kind of things. Pay attention to the narrative that is more and more and more in 2023 with all social media and so on, so important, so manipulative, so big in influencing what people are thinking. So pay attention to that. Anyway, now after 9 minutes where I said that I was clearly not happy about, let's speak about Mercato. Gazzetta dello Sport is speaking first about Serie A. Inter ci sei, Inter is there. Well, a lot of people told me, Beppe, Inter, yes, but they are focusing a lot about two teams, Napoli and Milan. Well, if you are looking at the history of Napoli and Milan, the recent history, these two teams, they have records of starting Serie A with a big boom. 10 victories in a row in the beginning of the season for both teams. That was 2 seasons ago. Last season again, they did quite well in the start of the Serie A. So they are really respecting how they usually start Serie A, where a bit later they have some dip. On the other side, Inter is not always able to win in the beginning of the season, but they are really convincing. They are really strong. Thuram, Lautaro yesterday worked perfectly. What a beautiful duo in attack. The midfield is strong. On the left, on the right, they have the players. In the defense yesterday, the Verratti is doing fantastically well. After some season of for me, Inter in that beginning of the season showed clearly they are stronger than everyone. So pay attention to that team. And Gazzetta dello Sport is correctly speaking about them. Corriere dello Sport changed totally volte-face from one side to the other, because it's not anymore Lukaku in bianconero, but Lukaku in giallo-rosso. Gigantesco, a giant in Rome. He will arrive this afternoon, so a lot of Juventini will be happy for the player that is not arriving in Juventus at Juventus. We'll come back on Vlahovic in a second. First of all, we have to speak about our Mercato now, after 11 minutes of the video, with yesterday official Matthias Soulé that is going to Frosinone. The word also Betis Sevilla, that was really interesting. He's going on loan. Juventus really wanted to have a permanent deal for Soulé in whatever team, so cashing in with a lot of money. But if it was, like it is now, a loan, they preferred him to stay in Italy so that they continue to follow him from close, so that they can see the progression in Serie A for Matthias Soulé. I wish him the best. You know how much I like the player, how much he was my boy. I will continue to follow him, especially in a team, Frosinone, that already signed Enzo Barrenechea on loan, Matthias Soulé, and probably today, if not tomorrow, it will also be official that Kaio Jorge will join them. So 3 players from Juventus in a team that I will particularly follow this season. Now, not only Kaio Jorge about to leave, but there are 2 other letter K that are on the exit mercato. There is the big name of Kostic, and here yesterday I spoke about it with Romeo Agresti. A lot of fans are asking themselves question, because on 180 available minutes he's playing 0 seconds. Yesterday or Sunday, when we played the game against Bologna, at a certain moment, behind of 1 goal, we have to come back. The decision of the coach is to play Ealing Jr. So the message that you're sending is, if we have to be saved, if we have to come back, well, we prefer to play a young player, Ealing Jr., than the one that offered the most assists for the Bianconeri in 22-23. Is it out of precaution because it's still under discussion on the market, so that he has absolutely no physical problem? Could be. Is it because with all the voices he's not 100% relaxed and serene? Could be. Well, we will have to wait Friday to understand if there will be an offer. There are some interest from Premier League and from Bundesliga, not Werder Bremer, because he doesn't want to go there, but there are some teams on him, Bundesliga, Premier League, and Juventus is even ready to accept a bit lower than their initial request. Why? Because we know it. We have too many options on the left and absolutely no options on the right side. If not, Weston McKennie for Timo Weah. So we have to pay attention. Not only Kostic, where we will discover. Ragazzi, I have the feeling, I said it yesterday to Romeo Agresti on his channel, I said, the first offer that will arrive for Ealing or for Kostic, Juventus will not think twice. They will free up and cash in for one of both players. Let's see. And then the other player with the letter K, because we have 3, it's Moise Kean. Moise Kean, that at the moment, also him, didn't play a single second. The first one because he was not called up. Sunday, there was not the opportunity for him to play. We prefer to play also there Yildiz instead of Moise to come back on that score, to change a bit towards a 3-4-1-2. Well, Moise Kean is also possibly on the exit market, not on loan. This is what Juventus is really saying, not on loan, because Milan was interested, Sevilla was interested, and Juventus said no, no, no. If he can leave, it's for probably Premier League, but to cash in. And if we cash in, well, you have a player that is ready, and we're speaking about Morata. Morata that yesterday scored a brace coming off from the bench. Morata is starting really, really well in La Liga this season. A player that will not come on the right side of the field is Timothy, not Weah, but Castagne, that officially signed with Fulham until 2027. I told you it's a player that I would have taken in a blink of an eye for a simple reason. We are looking for a rotational player that can give the sub to Weah, not a starting player, especially with the finest that we have. If we could go for a cheap, I would go for it. The good news is that Pogba kind of is back in a slow mode, not for the entirety of the game, but having already a Pogba in the middle of the field is a great news. We should keep also Miretti and Nicolosi at least until January to back ourselves up, because you never know with Pogba if tomorrow he has an injury. On the other side, the two negative notes from Sunday are that and Rabiot and Locatelli didn't perform into that game, with a lot of debate, controversies. Again, Locatelli, is he a fantastic phenomenon? Is he a normal player? Is he a bad player? Or is he a good player that is playing out of position? Well, these questions this year, Locatelli will have to answer them. And he has now the obligation to answer these questions after his first season at Juventus, where we are still asking ourselves, who is Manuel Locatelli? On the other side, the beautiful news is that Dusan Vlahovic is back, confirming that he's the king of August, because in August he's scoring. He should have been there up with, according to me, with Lautaro, with Osimhen, and with Giroud, because he scored that third goal. That was a good one according to me. They disallow it. He scored 2 goals at the moment. 4 with 2 goals that were disallowed. So a Dusan that is totally informed. Hopefully we can see that Dusan, because that Dusan is a player that is giving me confidence. The Dusan that is angry, that goes towards the ball is a beautiful news. And I will absolutely not regret not going for Lukaku if it's this version of Dusan Vlahovic that we have in our team. Then, the last topic that I wanted to speak about before closing today's video is Thiago Motta. Yes, I want to praise myself, because do you remember when we were speaking about, and I spoke about it real long before, about the possibility of leaving Max Allegri at home so that he could not be the coach of 23-24 Juventus? I told you, and it was back then a really unpopular opinion, Thiago Motta is my favorite one. Well, Thiago Motta didn't come. Now we are continuing to support Max Allegri, but Thiago Motta impressed a lot of people, and on the papers you see Motta is gaining points, is gaining respect for all the people, and he's a coach that is the present and the future. A lot of people are saying he is a pragmatic, fantastic tactical coach that can do a beautiful career. Was I wrong? We will see in the future, but at the moment I think that this was a good point from Beppe. Beppe from GJustjuve, that's me. Ragazzi, that was the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know about the controversy, what you think about it, because again, I want to speak about football, but I cannot not defend Juventus in these kind of cases, especially with the manipulation that they are doing. Let me know about Mercato, what you think that will happen in the next following days. And I give you probably an appointment this evening live to follow the Mercato voices in or out. Grazie, forza, Juve.